The truth is, for all my Batman fans out there that were against this, the truth is I was on your side the entire time. All right, you guys might have been right about James Gunn. I waited 8 weeks for absolutely nothing in Peacemaker, and I can't get that time back. I'm done with James Gunn. Like, get this dude out of the office. Me as a person, I never judge anybody until it's warranted, okay? I allow people to make their mistakes before I give my full judgment on their character or whatever they're doing, right? And with James Gunn, I didn't know James Gunn before Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know what he worked on, what he had his hands in, but he did a pretty good job with Guardians of the Galaxy. He brought a different vibe to the MCU and made memorable characters that we all fell in love with, right? So I gave him a lot of props for that, and really saw him as someone that is very talented and knows how to create characters and garner attention that way, right? So when I found out that he was going to be the CEO of the DCU, I was excited. I was absolutely excited because I don't know who else would have been in a better position to take that role, right? I mean, his track record has been really solid, right? So I had the utmost faith in him to, bring back the DCU. His first test of that was Superman. And Superman, we're going to have to keep it a buck, was ass. Yes, you're going to catch me in my old videos contradicting myself, and I have an explanation for that, because when you love comics, superheroes, Marvel, DC so much, you kind of have to be delusional about things. Okay, you gotta be unrealistically optimistic about certain situations. And Superman, I was grabbing that optimism with everything. I was trying to like it so much to convince me that the DCU was heading to a good place, because that was the only point of reference that we could see from James Gunn and his work to gauge where the DCU was headed. But after watching that movie once, bro, I never plan on watching Superman again. Like, I really could care less about watching that movie. There's movies that you can watch, every couple of years, right? Because they were decent. The problem with James Gunn is he brought his corny joke, just bullshit vibe to Superman, and it completely ruined just the optics of it, to be honest. And I have no interest of watching it again. All right. So that was just the first instance of James Gunn. But what we're really trying to talk about here is how he made it seem like Peacemaker was going to be another situation where they introduced the DCU and brought the hype back. Peacemaker was ass. Okay, the first season was okay, right? The first season was actually solid, right? I was like, okay, this is actually good work. But the second season was just bullshit. Like, I'm actually so pissed that I can't get that time back, because he really sat here and lied to us and told us that, there's going to be some really big things happening in Peacemaker. And as a DC fan, with nothing else that DC's releasing, you're gonna be tuned in to see, okay, what's gonna happen in this, right? That's the only production that they're putting out there, Peacemaker, right? So you're invested to see, okay, what's gonna happen? You know, are they gonna bring in new characters? Like, how are they gonna continue to build this story that he's claiming that he's building from the jump of Superman? When I tell you that every single episode was extremely underwhelming, but just for the hope that we would see some cool character, some DC member that we all know hop in, was the only reason why I kept watching every week. And when I think about it, I feel like he's really only producing Peacemaker for his wife. Like, if you guys didn't know, that's Harcourt. One of the characters in Peacemaker is literally his wife. And I think he's just trying to keep her employed. To be honest, because if we're being real here, there is no need for Peacemaker. John Cena, love him. He actually does pretty good in that show, but they were good with season 1. They were good with season 1, and that's it. Right? Like, they didn't need to extend that series, because they literally left off with the dumbest cliffhanger possible. All that time invested to just watch, and wait every single week amounted to just Peacemaker being in a different realm with no context or anything. We don't even know if they're gonna continue that arc or whatever, but I simply don't care. That just really put a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to James Gunn. Like, I was really rooting for him. And I'm seeing people's annoyance with him because he tries to put his own little takes and ideas into these, well-established characters and themes, and tries to make it his own, and it just ruins it. It ruins the quality. And this is what brings me to my next point, and why I was harping on the fact of Batman being in the DCU so badly. Like, the truth is, for all my Batman fans out there that were against this, the truth is, I was on your side the entire time. Okay? The only reason why I wanted Batman to be the main Batman of the DCU was because I didn't trust James Gunn being the guy to develop a new Batman. I just couldn't see him developing a good enough Batman that Matt Reeves has established. And when it comes to the DC period, Batman is literally number one. That's a fact. You can say Superman, but if we're being honest here, Batman is number one. So just for the sake of keeping the quality of DC, up to par, the only way I could see that happening is if Matt Reeves brought Robert Pattinson talents to the DCU and had it continue for the next 10 years. That was the only way I was going to see that. And that's why I wanted the Batman to be the main Batman in the DCU so badly, because he was the only thing that was going to keep the quality good and at least make the DCU be taken seriously. Right? But it's looking like it's not happening. And I can tell you right now, my mind on DC, when I was invested like crazy in the beginning, when there was a possibility of Batman being in the DCU, you guys won't understand how invested I was trying to, figure out, is he gonna be the main Batman? But now that that's confirmed, and we're gonna just have, Reeve's, which at the end of the day, I'm happy with, because yes, I do understand why you guys didn't want, to bring the Batman to DCU, because, you guys don't trust James Gunn. You guys don't trust his work, and you don't know how how he could possibly tarnish the image of the great work that Matt Reeves has done, right? So I understand that. And I simply have no desire for anything of DC besides the Batman now. Like, literally, after that Peacemaker situation and wasting my time watching that stupid show, it's just put a really bad taste in my mouth. Have zero excitement, nothing. And I just don't know what to say. I just think, like, this is a lesson for anyone that's like me, that can be put on the blinders and just be too optimistic about certain people. And, gotta be more critical, because, you guys did say it. All the people that were, talking about Gunn and his work and how he's not fit for the job. I can't argue with you. I can't. I really can't. So from now and to look into the future, I could give a fuck about DC except for the Batman. Like, I'm just sitting here waiting for that to come out. I don't even give a fuck about Man of Tomorrow. I haven't even taken a deep look into it. I don't care what the story is about. I don't care. And the sad part about it is the casting is pretty good. I really like David Cornsworth as the new Superman. I think he was perfect casting for the Superman, but he doesn't have control over where the direction of his movies go. That's not in his control, right? So you're gonna have to put this on James Gunn, and unfortunately, that's what you got to do, unfortunately. And I'm just gonna be sitting back here until something can grab my attention from DC, because it's not looking good.